You wake up and everything feels heavy. Not because something's wrong, but because nothing feels right. You've been trying to figure it out, thinking harder, pushing yourself to find the answer. But the more you think, the foggier it becomes. You scroll through advice, you listen to others, you tell yourself you should know what to do by now, but deep down, you just feel tired, stuck, like your life is paused on a scene you don't remember choosing. But what if being stuck isn't the problem? What if it's actually the signal that your old path no longer fits the person you're becoming? You're not lazy, you're not broken, you're simply in between who you were and who you're meant to be. In this video, we're going to explore how to find direction when life feels unclear, and why this moment right now might be the most important one of your journey. Take a deep breath. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. You just need a little light to remind you that there's a way forward. In the next few minutes, we'll walk through what feeling stuck really means and how to turn this fog into a gentle guide instead of a wall. By the end of this video, you'll have a simple 3-step path to help you find direction again, rebuild your sense of trust in yourself, and start moving, even when the way ahead still feels unclear. You don't need to rush. You don't need to know everything. You just need to begin, one quiet decision at a time. The truth about feeling stuck. Feeling stuck is one of the most common human experiences and one of the most misunderstood. Many of us believe that being stuck is a sign of failure, laziness, or lack of talent, but the truth is the exact opposite. Feeling stuck is a natural signal from your mind and body. It's a message that your current path no longer fits the person you are becoming. Tony Robbins reminds us it's not the events of our lives that shape us, but our decisions. And yet, when we feel stuck, it can seem like we are unable to make any decisions at all. That paralysis isn't a flaw, it's a natural pause that asks us to reflect before we move forward. Neuroscience helps explain this pause. Your brain is designed to seek certainty and predictability. When it cannot predict outcomes, it triggers hesitation and stress. Dr. David Rock, in his SCARF model, explains that the brain treats uncertainty as a threat, not a challenge. So, when you feel stuck, your nervous system is simply doing its job, keeping you safe. But here's the key. Safety and growth are often on opposite sides of that pause. The very moment you feel discomfort, doubt, or unease, your brain is signaling that there's a potential for change, a potential to stretch beyond old limits. Simon Sinek puts it beautifully. Growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. So, feeling stuck isn't a failure, it's an invitation. It's your inner system gently nudging you toward reflection, adaptation, and realignment with your values. Brené Brown reminds us vulnerability is not winning or losing, it's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Feeling stuck is the emotional equivalent of that vulnerability, an opportunity to show up for yourself in honesty and courage. Many of us try to force clarity by overthinking. We analyze every scenario, list every pro and con, seek advice from everyone we know, and yet we still feel stuck. That's because clarity rarely comes from thinking harder. Clarity comes from alignment, from connecting with what truly matters to you at this moment. Mel Robbins says it simply: action is the antidote to fear. Momentum creates clarity. When we are stuck, we are often ignoring our internal compass. Psychologists call this the conflict between our rational mind and our emotional guidance system. Daniel Kahneman, in Thinking Fast and Slow, describes System 1 and System 2 thinking. System 1 is intuitive and emotional, System 2 is analytical and deliberate. Feeling stuck is often the result of System 2 overanalyzing, while System 1 quietly knows the way forward. The trick is learning to trust both systems instead of letting the analytical mind override the emotional cues that point us toward what we truly want. Let's consider a simple example. Imagine you've been in a job for years. You feel restless, unfulfilled, but you can't decide whether to make a change. Your analytical mind weighs every risk: finances, reputation, skill gaps. Your emotional mind whispers, "This isn't right for me anymore." That tension creates paralysis. You feel stuck, not because you don't know what to do, but because fear and uncertainty are competing with clarity. Simon Sinek often emphasizes starting with why. Feeling stuck frequently happens when your actions are misaligned with your why, the deeper purpose behind what you do. When your day to day choices don't reflect your values, the brain signals discomfort, doubt, and internal friction. This is not failure, it's your compass pointing you back to what matters. Another reason we feel stuck is the fear of regret. We imagine all possible outcomes, all worst case scenarios, and we become paralyzed by the possibility of making the wrong choice. Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman, pioneers of behavioral economics, describe this as loss aversion. Our brains weight potential losses more heavily than potential gains. That's why the fear of acting often feels bigger than the fear of inaction. Yet, ironically, long term inaction carries its own hidden costs: lost opportunities, diminished confidence, and a gradual erosion of trust in ourselves. Brené Brown emphasizes that discomfort is a necessary part of growth. We cannot selectively numb emotions. When we numb the painful emotions, we also numb the positive emotions. Feeling stuck is uncomfortable, yes, but it also signals that something important is waiting for you: a shift, a new choice, a deeper alignment with yourself. Feeling stuck also gives us a chance to reconnect with curiosity and creativity. When Tony Robbins talks about breakthroughs, he highlights the moments of tension, hesitation, or frustration as the exact point where transformation begins. The discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the doorway. It's the spark that can ignite momentum when we step into it with intention. So, what can you do when you feel stuck? The first step is awareness. Notice the emotions, the thoughts, the restlessness. Don't fight it. Don't label it as failure. Simply recognize that this pause is a natural part of the growth process. Write down your feelings, reflect on your values, and identify what's misaligned. Susan David, in Emotional Agility, teaches that labeling your emotions and observing them without judgment gives you clarity and perspective. Awareness transforms stuckness into insight. Next, start with small intentional movement. You don't need to solve everything at once. Mel Robbins' advice applies here. Small action creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. Confidence fuels clarity. Even a single step, a conversation, a short experiment, a creative attempt sends your nervous system a message: I am capable of action. Each step dissolves the paralysis, turning stuckness into progress. Finally, remember that being stuck is temporary. Simon Sinek emphasizes patience in the process of growth. The moments where you feel lost, uncertain, or unsure are temporary stages in a larger journey of self discovery. These moments are not signs that you failed, they are signs that you are human, learning, and evolving. The path forward often reveals itself through movement, reflection, and alignment, not through forced logic or endless analysis. Feeling stuck is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of awareness, courage, and transformation. As Tony Robbins says, life is a gift and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. Stuckness is the invitation to become more, to realign, reconnect, and take steps toward the life that is waiting for you. So, if you're feeling stuck right now, take a deep breath and remind yourself: you are not broken, you are not behind, you are in the space where growth begins, the space between who you were and who you are becoming. And this moment, exactly as it is, holds the possibility of movement, clarity, and momentum. The three-step practical framework to move forward. Now that we've explored why feeling stuck happens, the fears, the doubts, the brain's natural resistance to uncertainty, it's time to focus on what actually moves you forward. The truth is, clarity doesn't usually appear first, action does. Momentum creates clarity. As Mel Robbins teaches in the 5-second rule, the moment you feel the instinct to act, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. That small act of courage interrupts hesitation and tells your brain that you are capable of action. To make this process easier, I want to share a simple 3-step framework. These steps aren't complicated, no, but they are powerful when applied consistently. They are: Step 1, name the fear. The first step is to identify what you are really afraid of. Most of us say, I don't know what to do, but that's rarely the whole truth. Often we do know what we want, we're just afraid of what might happen if we act. Psychologist Susan David calls this emotional agility, observing your emotions as data, not directives. When anxiety, doubt, or guilt arises, it's your mind signaling what matters to you. Write down the fear, name it, externalize it. When fear lives in your awareness instead of your subconscious, it loses its power to paralyze you. Tony Robbins often says that clarity comes from action, not thought. But before you act, naming your fear prepares your mind. Understanding the source of your hesitation reduces its control over you. It's a practice of self-compassion as much as strategy, acknowledging that fear is normal and that courage doesn't mean absence of fear. Step 2. Shrink the decision. One of the biggest reasons we avoid decisions is because we treat every choice as permanent or irreversible. Annie Duke, in Thinking in Bets, reminds us that every decision is a bet under uncertainty. We rarely have all the data, and no outcome can guarantee we were right. Thinking in Bets reframes choices as experiments, not verdicts. Shrinking a decision means breaking it into small, low-risk steps. If you're considering a career change, start by researching a company, updating your resume, or talking to one mentor, not quitting your job tomorrow. If you want to start a new habit, begin with 5 minutes a day. Carol Dweck's research on growth mindset supports this approach. When decisions are framed as experiments rather than fixed tests of competence, we're more willing to act despite uncertainty. Every small action teaches your brain that taking steps is safe and productive. Over time, these small wins build momentum, confidence, and clarity. Step 3. Move before comfort returns. The final and often hardest step is to act before hesitation and self-doubt return. Neuroscience shows that the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought and planning, has a brief window before fear and doubt activate your limbic system. Acting quickly, even with a small step, keeps the rational mind in charge and prevents your emotions from paralyzing you. William James, the father of American psychology, said, "Action may not always bring happiness, but there is no happiness without action." This principle is especially true when you feel stuck. Action breeds clarity, confidence, and trust in yourself. Every time you act, you send your nervous system a message: I can handle uncertainty. I can make a choice. I can move forward. Even tiny actions are effective. Make a call you've been avoiding. Send an email. Take a short walk to reflect. Pick one micro step and follow through. The brain learns through repetition. Small actions compound into meaningful progress. Mel Robbins' 5-second rule works precisely because it interrupts hesitation and triggers momentum at the exact moment fear arises. Let's summarize. 1. Name the fear. Identify what's really holding you back. 2. Shrink the decision. Break it into small, manageable, low-risk actions. 3. Move before comfort returns. Act before doubt paralyzes you. When you practice these steps, you start to rebuild trust in yourself. You learn that clarity doesn't have to come first. You learn that fear is information, not a stop sign. And you learn that every choice, no matter how small, nudges you toward momentum and purpose. Simon Sinek often reminds us to start with why. Feeling stuck frequently occurs when your daily actions drift away from your deeper purpose. These three steps realign your behavior with your values and create a bridge from uncertainty to progress. Remember, you don't need the whole path to start moving. You only need to take one step, small, intentional, and guided by self awareness. That step may feel minor, but its impact compounds over time. As Brené Brown says, courage starts with showing up and letting ourselves be seen. In the context of feeling stuck, showing up means taking action, even when you are unsure. Every small choice to move forward teaches your mind that you are capable, resilient, and worthy of trust. Feeling stuck is not a dead end, it is a doorway to growth, momentum, and clarity. Following this framework, naming the fear, shrinking the decision, and moving before comfort returns allows you to step through that doorway with confidence. Each step illuminates the path ahead. Each small action proves to yourself that you can move even without perfect certainty. The journey out of stuckness is not about perfection, it's about presence, courage, and repetition. Tony Robbins says it beautifully. The path to success is to take massive, determined action. Start small, start now, and trust that clarity will follow your movement. Momentum becomes your ally, fear becomes your teacher, and the person you are becoming begins to show up, one deliberate choice at a time. Take a moment to breathe and feel the weight of where you've been. Feeling stuck is not a failure, it's an invitation to pause, reflect, and realign with what truly matters to you. Every small step you take, every micro action, rebuilds trust in yourself. Momentum creates clarity. Fear becomes information, not a stop sign, and with each choice, you prove that you are capable of moving forward even when the path feels unclear. Remember what Tony Robbins says: it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. Your next step, however small, is shaping your future. You don't need to see the whole path, you just need to move. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what's one small step I can take today to get moving again? Take that step, trust yourself. Momentum will carry you forward and clarity will follow. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Time to Pivot for more tools to help you take brave steps in life, work, and relationships. Comment below with the first step you'll take today. Your action might inspire someone else to move forward too. Remember, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to begin. It's your time to pivot.